Recently, Diablo II Resurrected was officially announced. But what are the major changes that players should be aware of before they even consider purchasing the game?
Okay.
And will they be better or worse for players old and new alike?
I really hope that this is a good remaster.
New look, same D2. The
Okay.
first and most glaring
Yeah,
upgrade
obviously.
are the visuals of the game. The world
Not
has
a
been
surprise
skinned
there.
over with a sleek, modern look that we've come to expect from modern game designs, yet it still sits with a sort of familiarity, and we'll jump into that, but Resurrected specs are pretty impressive, and it will be playable at resolutions of 430 20p uncapped for the PC and 2160p at 60 frames per second on next-gen consoles. The graphics are actually going to be toggleable.
I love how consoles suck. Consoles at 60 FPS, dude. 60 FPS, dude. Imagine, dude, 60. Imagine only having 60 FPS, man. It's like, I think my phone gets better FPS than that console. What the fuck, dude?
Between the remaster visuals and the classic game. This is due to the method that the developers use to keep the game flowing at the same familiar pace we've been accustomed to for the last 20 years. However, original Diablo co-creator David Brevik pointed out on Twitter that they may need to make some, quote, small modifications in the AI radius and skill ranges because the original game was built for a 4:3 aspect ratio display.
So this is actually an issue that PoE has too. People would play with stretch resolution and they would literally just off-screen mobs because you would be able to shoot them because your skills would go farther than the monitor. And then if you played stretch resolution, you could see them and you could hit them before they even had an aggro range. So you just turret them down. The thing is, I did this exact same thing in Diablo 3 because you could get to that sweet spot where you could get the mob, right? So you have, like, let's say this is the monitor. Let me go ahead and find a square. Where's a square? Okay, let's say this is a square. So this is a square, like, monitor. So, like, you're right here and you get the mob to, like, right here in the fucking corner. And you're shooting him to where you can just barely see his head and you know it's hitting him. I would do that all the fucking time to get max range while still being able to target them and know where they are.
Turn, it'll make the AI aggro range a major concern here. And the devs are looking into how they're going to address this. Now, obviously, you don't want this huge visual area to have an extra wide monitor, and given the resolution actually affects whether or not your enemies see and are therefore drawn to you, you don't want to pull the entire area of the screen because now you have all this extra visual space.
True and
Though
real.
I would love to imagine the entirety of hell being alerted to you as soon as you step through that portal. Now, additionally, for visuals, every item in the game is getting a visual update to more closely resemble its in-game icon versus just the generic version. Standard, magic, and rare equipment will still appear on the character as it had before by showing up as a specific tier of armor. Body armor, weapons, and shields will also appear as they had before, and helmets will do the same. However, the dev team have chosen to rework the weapon and armor appearances of unique items. You could say they're making them unique to more closely resemble their...
This is good. That's a good change. I'm glad about that. It's just making the items more unique, making you look cooler. Like, that's definitely a good thing. It's like, obviously back then they probably just didn't do that because they didn't have the technology or the capability of doing it. So yeah, that's a good change.
Equipment icons, which is a huge plus because you don't feel very unique, only looking cool inside your inventory.
Exactly.
From intricate weapons like the Brain Hue Great Axe to the very simple items like the elusive Harlequin's Crest. It's a cool little fix, but especially in the case of the Harlequin's Crest, they missed an opportunity to harken back to the design from Diablo 1, which, I mean, it looks really cool inside your inventory even in that game, but it also makes sense to continue in this fashion to keep the feel of the original game.
Will my Shaco still be green?
Was it green in the first one?
Is that your answer?
No, I'll give people a better answer. So the icon of it is green in your inventory, so it will be green in this one. Whatever it looks like on your character in-game, exactly what it looks like on your character in this one.
Okay, I will allow it.
Also keeping with the...
That's good. I'm glad about that. Yeah, definitely a good change. It should be green because it's very obvious that the intention was for the things to be green. This is a problem that I think PoE had, is like many of the items, like there's a few exceptions, like Calm's Heart and a few other pieces that actually do have a unique, really cool appearance. But many of the items don't really look that cool because I think they make it that way to incentivize microtransactions, right? I mean, let's be honest. So it would be unfortunate if all of the characters look very drab in the game, as you do want to have things that are special, that look really cool, and you want your character to look badass.
Original as close as possible are the cutscenes. While these have been confirmed by Rod Ferguson to be the area where the game could be considered a quote-unquote remake, with every scene being rebuilt using modern CGI software while keeping the same direction from the original title in a one-to-one method.
Are there going to be high texture animated cinematics at the end of every act and major moment like we had in Diablo 3? Basically the question. So are the cinematics in D2R similar to the way that they were done in Diablo 3?
So no, the style of how they were done in D3 is different. So in D2, what we're doing is we're literally remaking shot for shot all 27 plus minutes of the cinematics that have just become iconic for Diablo 2.
Wow.
So the original soundtrack will be playing all, remastered for 7.1. But the visuals of what you see will be full 3D models, full scenes, what you come to expect from a current gen Blizzard title.
One thing that Blizzard has not stopped doing really well is 100% cinematics. Like I didn't like what happened in the Shadowlands cinematic, but the actual quality of it was fucking insane. It's so good. Like Blizzard has been I think a lot of other companies, the truth is I think that a lot of other companies have caught up to Blizzard, and there's not as big of a difference as there used to be. But back in the day, like the Blizzard Warcraft cinematic was like, it was like 2 or 3 different levels removed better than any other cinematic in like any other game. It was insane how much better Blizzard was at cinematics. And even now, they're still really fucking good.
What's great too is we're actually keeping all the same performances. So we're up-resing the audio, but those actors perform Marius, it will still sound like Marius and his following of the Dark Wanderer, which I think is really cool.
None of the voice acting is going to be changed. I love Marius, played by the late, great Frank Gorshin. He is irreplaceable. Also, fun little fact, he doesn't actually have an in-game player model, though he is, for all intents and purposes, the guide and narrator for the whole game of Diablo 2. And Lord of Destruction, till his gammy legs get kicking and Bale goes to work on the little bastard.
Now I think you shall have your reward.
Oh my god.
Last but not least, for the aesthetic, we come to classes.
It looks like fucking Liam Neeson. Look. Wow.
While this has been a topic of much controversy across social media over the last few days since this recording, one cannot deny the intricacy of the detail work in the armor and weapons adorning each class.
Yeah.
From broader designs to more functionally accurate works with rigid, raised and gilded steel, textured leather and buckles.
I like it.
All the buckles. Tetsuya Nomura would be proud. Now, players will also notice the characters going through different animations if they sit idle or carrying weapons a little differently.
That's
Small
cool.
things like that. Quality of life content.
Okay, here we go.
As many gaming aficionados will tell you, graphics aren't everything. I mean, especially for Diablo. Come on, 20 years and it's still beloved. But Diablo Resurrected comes with a bunch of...
I think like you see so many games nowadays. I think Valheim is the most is the most recent example where you see these games that are just, really basic graphics, but they're just loved. Yeah, they're just absolutely fucking loved. And I think that's one thing that that's one thing I really do like.
Quality of life changes and options to the game's current systems. The greatest of which arguably has to be the implementation of a shared
I just checked my Battle.net. It's not up.
Things like a shared stash, we know people use mule characters, right? And so adding a shared stash we felt was the right choice when it
Wait,
came.
we have a shared stash?
We have a shared stash.
Yeah. We have a shared stash.
Oh, thank God.
Now the way that the shared stash works is there are rules, right? You can't have your ladder characters mixing a stash with a non-ladder character.
That makes sense, yeah. I mean, having the shared stash is just so much better in Diablo 3. I could have never imagined not having that. It just makes it 1,000 times easier. Yeah, that's all there is to it. You soloing?
And you can have your offline characters.
I'd play with McConnell, but I don't know if he's going to get in.
But for the most part, we're like, people do this anyway with a mule character, so it's okay to give them this feature.
That is like the greatest feature that you could add, because there's nothing worse than opening up the game, going in, dropping all your GG items to mule them over because you've run out of space, and then not being able to log back in, or the game's not created, or it didn't perm in time, and losing all of your gear, or trying to find someone to help you transfer your gear over, because, oh my gosh, a shared stash is amazing. Thank you so much. That's such a help.
Additionally, there will be several different settings that are toggleable for those that wish to enjoy the game as it originally functioned versus how Resurrected functioned.
I think that's really good. I know that the Master Chief Collection for Halo did the same thing, where you're able to toggle the new graphics on and off, and I'm glad that they're doing the same thing.
Such as, this includes an auto loot feature for gold pickup, so you're not individually clicking piles of gold, holding Alt. They also added a comparison toggle for simplifying whether or not pieces of gear are upgrades for ones you already have equipped.
The item comparison is a great example of us adding it, but added it with a measured hand. So we don't suggest any gear for anybody. The gear in Diablo 2 is so quirky and different, and every class can use everything, that us recommending things like that actually was more confusing to people. So you literally hold shift and it's like, here's what you got equipped, here's what it is.
Additional to this, the ability to toggle all your bonuses applied from gear. Now you won't have to micromanage calculations per one of your overall upgrades from equipment or charms. Everything is collected together in one easy to read menu.
As well. So we're going to be showing you all the information you get from items as well. So you don't have to do that kind of math with like
start installing,
looking at each of your items and calculating how much magic find you
Battle.net. I'll reopen it.
Like summarized right there for you.
There is an auto party system for automatically joining and creating parties in game. However, if you still want to jump into an open game and shout TP for half an hour, go for it. D2 Resurrected offers a colorblind low vision mode as well, and made alterations to how text is displayed to be more accessible to those who need this option, as well as 5 additional languages to further diversify the accessible languages for a wider audience. And while modding will still be a thing to a degree, which really can't be helped because despite Battle.net's stricter security, there is still easily accessible coding to mod the game.
People are always going to mod the game. Like, that's always the way it goes, man. Yeah, I mean, that was a huge issue with Diablo 3. I remember, like, not being able to play offline pissed so many people off with Diablo 3. But nowadays, it's just kind of it's a different world than it was in 2012. So I don't think it's as much of an issue.
And duping will be strictly discouraged and policed on the servers, a feature currently present on the modern Battle.net client. This is an amazing feature due to the abundance of botting and duplicating items on D2 currently, which makes online play particularly frustrating. Also, you can host your own dedicated server for just you and your friends. But the best part about online play is it's no longer region locked. You have friends in the States, Canada, South America, Europe.
Yo, that's so fucking badass. That is actually so cool. I love that. Like, honestly, one of the worst things is that, like, how there's this separation between EU and NA. I hate that. Now, obviously, for, like, competitive latency-based PvP, you kind of have to have it. But other than that, fuck it, man. Like, let people play with who they want to play with.
Australia even, I'll be your friend. It doesn't matter. Play with anyone, anywhere, anytime. Our Discord is linked in the description, and we are pretty worldwide as well. With over 500 members, there goes the plug. Next is, things are no longer just PC, but also console. Diablo 2 was the only game in the entire series, for those of you who remember playing Diablo 1 on PS1, to be constrained purely to the PC platform, and this has remained true for 20 years. However, Diablo II Resurrected is making a move to be playable on multiple platforms, including PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, in addition to PC. And there are a few key factors that make this a very well integrated feature. First and foremost is cross-progression. Characters' progress will be able to be transferable between PC and console via an internet connection. This means while you can play on either platform completely online, if you have an internet connection and you make a character on PC, the progression is saved to the Battle.net client and can be downloaded to your console of your choosing if it is too connected to the internet.
That's cool. That's actually really cool. What the fuck? That's great. Wow.
Want to stop playing on your PC because you have to go out or leave to go to another room for a while, and you bring your Switch with you, or God forbid we get to travel again and you take it on an airplane and it actually has decent
You have to
Wi-Fi.
leave the house.
This feels like I'm just speculating about a future that will never exist. I'm sorry, I just had a mental breakdown. I hope you're all okay. You can continue your progression on that particular character and not have to worry about starting another character, which is currently an issue with the console and PC versions of D3. Also of note, devs working on D4 confirmed this will also be a feature on the game, which is awesome. Now, this of course varies differently from the aspects of crossplay, meaning playing from a PC with console players is not something that has been denied as a feature by the devs, and they are looking at it, so stay tuned for that. Now, a big question that's probably on a lot of players' minds concerning console play is controller support and how this will affect the interface specifically for D2.
Yeah, I think that was an issue because they brought Path of Exile to console and it was the same thing.
Inventory space, which along with stash will remain unaffected from the original game, it's being looked at. The devs have already put forth an idea of what we can expect from the console versions, which looks very D3 in nature. Also, the main action buttons as skill shortcuts, which for quick play purposes is really nice, but still limited compared to the PC version where you can hotkey and infinitum various skills and abilities. Potions were a major concern because they're sticking with the potion belt system from the original, but they've also worked that out by using the directional pads to access each individual belt slot. Also, run/walk is toggleable via pressing the left analog thumbstick, so that's also a nice thing too. Controller support is absolutely going to be a thing for PC as well. The devs even confirmed this where you load up the game via mouse and keyboard, then hit a button on the controller and play. This of course is entirely optional. If not utilized, the player will be able to play D2 Res in the standard fashion. As far as what the interface will be for the PC controller support, there is currently a little bit of uncertainty about how that's going to play out, given the control schemes are tied directly to the functionality of the game. Also, for the competitive players, while the original game and Resurrected will be two completely separate games, the leaderboards for ladder play will be universal and accessible on all platforms.
That's so fucking badass. Imagine having a universal leaderboard for a game that spans 20 years. God damn. God fucking damn, that's great.
Thoughts.
Wow.
Aside from all these changes, the game will remain largely the same. Again, the changes in graphics are really just a reskinning and polish running over the original game, even going so far as to add additional animations to better bridge the breakpoints to have everything in the game run a bit more smoothly. Content will remain the same and will include Lord of Destruction for all acts to be present in game. All 7 classes, stash and inventory sizes, skills.
So the game's gonna basically have the expansion pre-built into it, is that right? Okay. That's badass.
And abilities, rune words, Battle.net chat, TCP IP connections, and even smaller non-game breaking exploits like positioning during combat used to cheese bosses like Mephisto, or even speedrunning exploits. And perhaps most importantly, on the community side of things, while features like chat will change due to the modern Battle.net client functionality, older community sites like Ariat Summit will absolutely be applicable, given everything except the visuals will be changed to fit this upgrade. Now that's going to wrap up the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. And of course, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Head over to Discord to join the crusade as we discuss lore and have a generally awesome time being very supportive community, preparing for Diablo 4 and Resurrected, which we'll also be discussing in many videos to come. As always, thanks for watching. And until next time, traveler.
I feel like these are great changes. Like, all of these things are really great changes. There's nothing in here that's like really big, massive differences in the game or anything like that. I think all of these are really great changes that I'm totally fine with. There's nothing weird or anything like that. More gameplay plus comparison with the original. Yes. They don't know, dude. They don't know. Look at that, dude. So that's the, okay. Damn. Damn. Let me look at that again. I really think this is really good remastering because I feel like it keeps the same feel. It's been that for like 8 years. Oh, okay, now we're getting serious. Let's see some, damn it. Wait, that helmet. I think that was a helmet in Diablo 3. Which helmet is that? Wait, they had oh, that's Immortal King? I think you're right. Holy shit. Okay. This does seem like it's a very, oh wow. So that's the old one. Damn. Yeah, that's quite an improvement. That's the new one? Damn. Oh, you can zoom in too. Music is still so good. I'm a big fan of the music. I like it a lot. I want to see what these items are. So is this all of the inventory that you have? So you just have a weapon, a helmet, a chest piece, a belt, 2 rings, a necklace, boots, and gloves, right? Cool. Shared stash, that's nice. Okay. So that's how you level up. Advanced stats right there. Okay. Makes sense. Can't wait to play in 4K. Yeah. Dude, the music is great. I love the music. Music is big good. I like how she's running around with a fucking knife, man. Just ready to stab somebody. Is this Sorceress? I'm assuming. Oh, they have Leap Slam. It's Blink, I see. So Blink actually came from Diablo 2. Oh, and those are the blue mobs. And that's the character select screen. Damn. So I could play a Necromancer too? Ooh, it's gonna be hard for me to not play a Necromancer. I think if I make a new character at all, it'll probably be Necromancer. I kind of like the music, man. Oh, I do like the music. It's good. Oh, wait. Was that the Whirlwind? Wow. And that's the original game right there. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. It's very dark, too. Do you get are you able to get light radius in Diablo 2? Because I know that's even a feature in PoE, I'm pretty sure. You are? Okay. So I assume that was a holdover from D2. The only thing I don't like about this game is that, like, if you want to play a sorceress, you have to play a girl, right? I hate playing girl characters. I do. I think it's weird. I hate, in PoE, Elementalist is, like, super fucking OP, and if I want to play a summoner, I have to play Necromancer, which is a witch. It's a girl. It's like, fuck, man. Like, I hate playing girl characters. Yeah, the gender locks I'm not a fan of. Oh, it's because I hate women. That's why. Sorry, I forgot to explain. Yeah, I hate women. Holy shit. So the loot doesn't automatically show up. Okay. Oh, so I guess that's the druid right there. That's cool. So what was this video here? Diablo Resurrected, Diablo 4, and Diablo Immortal gameplay. Okay, I don't give a shit about that. Wait, oh yeah, that's right. So they're actually making 3 Diablo games at the same time. Because they're making Diablo 2 Resurrected, they're making Diablo Immortal, and they're also making Diablo 4. That's insane. I just hope one of them's good.